So good morning, everyone, and welcome, or good day for those of you on other time zones. And so in this exploration of the first of the three major insights of insight meditation, I'll continue talking about inconstancy, change, and impermanence, the coming and going of experience. And for meditation, one of the really important milestones in meditation is coming to a really clear understanding, clear insight, if I may, of how much time we spend thinking, how much time we spend viewing our experience, ourselves, what's important, through the lens of thoughts. And most thinking is about something, and so we live in a world of aboutness, rather than living in a world of immediacy, a world of sensation, sensing. And even if we are sensing and more or less in the present moment and feeling deeply what's going on, even there's subtle conceivings, valuings, prioritizing, selecting of the experience that goes on even sometimes subvocally or subconsciously almost in us, that gives us a kind of holding on to experience, a kind of momentum of preoccupation, momentum of reifying or solidifying some concern that we have. And the most extreme versions would be to be lost in thought about something that just seems insurmountable, seems permanent, seems like this is the way it's going to be forever, and it's terrible or wonderful or something. And so to see how much of the time we spend there, so that we can experience our life in meditation in a very different way. It's almost like a paradigm shift from looking at our life through the lens of our concepts to feeling our life through the flow of changing sense experience, and to relax the thinking mind, to soften the tension that is behind a lot of thinking we do, the momentum, to settle and relax the body, relax what's going on. So we're not forcing ourselves to enter into the world of change, but we naturally settle into it and feel it and become it. And one of the insights that's possible as we stay close to the world of the phenomenal world, the world of direct experience of everything, including thoughts, is to appreciate how much under the surface of our projections and reifications, how much things change, arise and pass. And in the passing, there is a hint of freedom, a freedom from preoccupation, a freedom from being entangled with experience, reacting to experience, a freedom of simplicity, a freedom of a heart and mind that is unpreoccupied. And that when something ends, that the absence of something is overlooked. In the Dharma, we don't overlook the absence that follows the ending of something. We appreciate the spaciousness, the peacefulness, the stillness that might be found there. So in this meditation, notice endings and the absence of what just ended. Not because it's sad or because you miss something, but the experiential, in the moment, space, silence, openness, stillness, silence that might be there, even if it's momentary. So assuming a meditation posture, and right as you close your eyes, there's a ceasing, an ending of being involved in the visual world of sight. In settling into a meditation posture, there's the ending of a certain degree of movement and moving around. Breathing and settling into your posture. There's the ending of certain large tensions or holdings. Maybe if the shoulders relax, the belly relaxes. Can you readjust your arms and hands to allow something to relax and soften? Feeling the rhythm of how the body expands and contracts as you breathe. The movements of the belly and diaphragm as you breathe. Maybe the movement, the tingling of air going in and out through your nostrils. And kind of with a gentle massage of that rhythm of breathing. On the exhale, relax your thinking mind. Soften. Maybe as to quiet your thinking mind, calm it in a quiet way of thinking. It's a way of letting go of all other thoughts. Gently on the exhale, quietly on the exhale, whisper to yourself the word yes. Yes to letting go of thoughts. Yes, to letting go into the body. And as we're sitting here meditating, a lot of things are no longer happening for you in this moment. There's more things that you are not thinking about, more things than you're not clinging to, than you're preoccupied with. Appreciate the absence. When something is not present, a degree of freedom is found there. Peace, spaciousness. Gently, calmly, stay close to the comings and goings of sensations, thoughts, feelings. Appreciating the moments of absence. When awareness is not feeling or sensing something that was being experienced. At the end of the inhale, there's a momentary absence of the inhale that allows the beginning of the exhale. But between the inhale and the exhale, there's a momentary absence, stillness, spaciousness, being free of any sensation of breathing. The end of the exhale, same thing. When you're very quiet, you'll see that thoughts are not continuous. There's little gaps and pauses and little moments when the mind is distracted by sound or sensations. Moments where awareness is free of what we were thinking. Feel those moments. In the coming and going of sensations experience, with the going of it, you might feel how there's a non-involvement with what was. At any given moment, there's what the mind is involved in, and there's a vast spaciousness of all the things it's not involved in. Expand your sense of awareness into the spaciousness, the peacefulness of non-involvement. any given moment. There are things that have passed, sensations and sounds and thoughts, or shifted, or no longer the center of attention. Let go of what was. Let go of what is not in the direct experience of the moment. So there is more space and openness for what comes next. And as we come to the end of the sitting, maybe you can appreciate the opportunity that endings provide. As much as there might be a loss, in the Dharma there's a greater benefit in the freedom, in this peace, in the openness, freshness that's there with the absence of what was. If we can let go of what was a moment ago, endings provide an opening into freedom. And as we, in openings and endings, ending of preoccupation, ending of projections and agendas, even if it's temporary, allows us to meet others in a fresh way, open way. May it be that this practice we do shows us, teaches us how to be present for others with a fresh awareness, an open awareness, a peaceful awareness of what is. So we're not preoccupied by what was or what we carried with us into the meeting. May endings support deeper connection, deeper care for this world, because we know people better. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Thank you. So hello and welcome to this 15th talk on insight. And this week has been um, a exploration of the topic of anicca, the Pali word Anicca, and it's usually translated as impermanence, which tends to emphasize the ending of things, that things will stop and cease and no longer be there. The Pali word more literally means inconstancy, meaning that things are not constantly there, but they come and go. And some things are obvious. The meals come and go, days come and go, daytime comes and goes, mornings come and go, meditation sessions come and go. All kinds of things come and go, and they return the next day. They return the next hour. The inhale comes and goes, but it's always there in a sense. So it's inconstant. And a lot of the deeper insight of meditation, a lot of the wisdom, ordinary wisdom of being a human being, appreciates that things are impermanent, that things do sooner or later stop and disappear, and to learn how to be wise about that, compassionate about that. And there's also this deeper truth that's not seen as clearly, is the inconstancy of things. One reason we don't see it so obviously or live in it so much is we tend to be focused so much on one thing. There's a tremendous reification, tremendous preoccupation that mind has. And the preoccupation of the moment can can um, can feel like it's constant. The metaphor that's used for this kind of illusion of constancy that involves a very busy and active mind is it's called monkey mind, and this is a mind that is a monkey is swinging through from branch to branch in the forest, in the jungle, and before it's let go of one branch, it's already reaching to grab the next one. So it's always one way or the other involved in grasping, reaching for, and holding on to, and it might let go, but of one to grab, in grabbing the next. But the preoccupation is already in the grabbing of the next. Doesn't notice the letting go. And so in a sense, what the mind is involved in is always with the grasping. So grasping can seem like it's constant, but in fact it comes and goes. And when we sit down in meditation and start and calm ourselves and get clearer and clearer with the mindfulness, we start seeing, among other things, the grasping mind and how it reaches and wants, but we see the gap between it. We see the arising of a thought. Rather than seeing thoughts as continuous, we see that thoughts come and go. We see that sensations come and go. And with a deeper and deeper calm, samadhi of meditation, there's a shift to in the direct moment of being just here, in the direct experience, now, here, just here. And we start entering into the river of change, the river of inconstancy. And that can be very satisfying, and it can be very absorbing to be in that. But there's an opportunity there that we see moment to moment, things are coming and going. And moment to moment, in that stream, things arise and pass. And seeing the passing of things, seeing the ending of things, gives, for all the loss it might entail, also provides opportunity. And one of those opportunities, there's a number, and that is that the mind, unless we're involved with memory and caught in it, in the moment, what's not there it creates space and openness in the mind, unless the mind reaches for the next branch. And so as you're thinking about something, and a particular thought ends, and before the next thought begins, between the ending of one and the beginning of the next, without using thoughts to answer the question, who are you? What is awareness like? Between thoughts, what is awareness like? Between beginning of the end of one experience and the beginning of next, there might be, if you might feel a degree of peace, a degree of spaciousness, stillness, a degree of non-clinging. And so at some point in practice, we start beginning appreciating the ending of things. Or we appreciate the endings, and it can be disorienting, because in the ending of something, we're so used to having something that we're orienting ourselves to, or holding on to, or some way of being that we are. This is who I am. But in the flow of arising and passing, and some people then get disoriented. Well, if I'm not there, if I don't have a thought telling me who I am, then who am I? If I'm not holding on to something or preoccupied by something, then how am I going to be safe? And so there's a kind of a beginning of exploration, a beginning of finding a certain kind of peace, comfort, letting go in the certain kind of freedom that's there with the absence with the things. It's kind of like as things arise and pass, we see in the passing that right there's the opportunity not to cling. Right there's nothing to cling to. There's nothing to resist, nothing to do, nothing to push against, nothing to be. And so part of the emphasis, part of what comes along, almost in a natural way, nothing we have to do about it, is as we start settling more and more into the impermanent, inconstant nature of direct experience, and I'm going to underline direct experience, not thought about experience. If we're thinking about experience, the thinking gives all kinds of other impressions of what's actually happening. It can give an impression of more constancy, more solidity. So it's not a continuity of thinking about experience. It's the continuity of the direct experience kind of underneath the thinking level. And we start to see there's freedom there. There's freedom in floating along in the current of change. And there's freedom in the spaciousness and the openness of when things end. And so in the teachings of the Buddha, there are some places where he emphasized that when something, when the hindrances, for example, when greed or hatred, aversion, desires, when doubts, when anxiety and fear, when these things kind of come to some kind of end, don't just go on to the next branch. Don't just go on to the next clinging. Take a few moments to feel the absence of that. Feel the goodness of that. Feel the spaciousness or some of the characteristics of that absence. So monkey mind doesn't take the time to feel the simplicity of being when certain things have been put down. We just go on to the next thing to cling to and be involved in. And meditation is one of those times where we're beginning to appreciate very deeply all the things we've put down, all the things that we've let go of in meditation, settled away, relaxed into. And the absence of those things is a freshness. The absence of those things, there's a kind of freedom there. And one of the things to appreciate, one of the things that's remarkable in how it leads to greater and greater freedom, is to appreciate the ending of things, the absence of things, how things are not there, even if it's momentary or maybe it's more extended. And then it gives you the opportunity to be careful not to reach for the next branch, not to fill yourself with more presence of things, but appreciate the absence. And so absence is a little bit, can be more expansive and spacious, so that when we go through our lives, and we do know something, we do feel something and sense something, we're not locked into it, but rather we feel it in a wider field, atmosphere of calm, of peace, of freedom, of non-clinging. And so rather than being a monkey, swinging, grabbing one branch up to the other, we become more like a graceful soaring bird, where the vast empty sky holds our wings up as we fly through and see all the changing things in our life from the vantage point of all the space that's here as well. So I hope this discussion about seeing endings, seeing the absence of things, seeing is understandable to you, and it gives you an appreciation of of not just the negative part of absence, not just the the beginning of something new, but something in that ending of something that allows something expansive to be there. And as that expansive freedom is there, then it's much easier to be with the challenging parts of impermanence and change and this life, human life. So thank you. And we'll continue with this series on insight in a few weeks. I'm going to be away on vacation for this next week, and I'll come back and be here again on the 30th, Monday. I think I'll still be in my vacation place that time, but I'll teach that morning, and then I'll be back here at IMC the next day. So thank you very much, and I look forward to coming back in a little over a week.